Excuse me. All right, welcome back to the Ultimate Wolf. Today, yeah, I did go to Walmart earlier today. I did get two new figures. So you can see the Braun on the left side of the camera and Q on the right. I'll quickly show off their boxes and get to opening stuff, transform them, and pose them up. And then I'll get the reviews out later this week. And so we actually gotta post the Death Cobra and Hellbat review. Those have been recorded since like a few days ago. Just haven't uploaded them. Probably just do Jack first since he was released, and then Braun was. Or we'll see. But yeah, I'm just gonna quickly show off the box. Transformers Autobot symbol. Q Jack, which he was called Q in the movie, so you can call him Q. There's alt mode, there's the robot mode, 23 steps right there, box. There's an image of robot mode. And yes, he is Ed Deluxe class, Transformers Dark Moon. Studio Series, right there. Deluxe class, there's the rest of the image. Top of the box, Transformers Dark Moon with Jack KQ. Back of the box, here's your CG render on the screen. There you go. And then there is your car mode. It also does say Q uses his skills as a scientist to create gear for the Autobots. And yes, they even is an official for Mercedes-Benz. So I guess they got it official. So yes, the car mode is official for Mercedes-Benz. But yeah, there you go. It's the box. Yeah, the remote box. I'll put Braun to the side because I'll look at for Braun soon. Let's get Lil Jack, aka Q, opened up. And let me grab my scissors over here. Being here and yeah, piece that since he's the new of the Studio Series, he won't have the backdrops though. Backdrop is gone. If you're they stopped doing it and they stopped doing the numbers on them. So I'm just gonna get the box opened up and then I'll get more into the figure. Figure. Yeah, the Walmart didn't really have anything in stock. Well, anything new in stock. They were at Transformers One Bumblebee. I already in stock. Had him in stock. They had him and like a few others like Dev Prime, a couple blockies, and like Cyber World that Grimlock too, and that was really it. There was nothing really like new or nothing like that. These were just these two figures that I saw, and they also had like the Dev Optimus Prime, but I'm good but without getting him. And I got the box. Well, at least the top of the box is open, so I can grab the figure. Yep, there's the instruction sheet. There you go. Good. It looks like they stopped running on that little white piece of paper that you've been getting. But so far, I don't see it. Found it. Yep. You get the white paper. It was folded inside the instructions. So you're great. You get a new one. Yeah, that's everyone's favorite. Well, you do get your instruction sheet right there. Okay, let's take a look at the figure. I won't transform him. I'll at least get brawn out and posed up next to Kyo so you can see how big he is. So yeah, you get something in this red bag right here, this red little bag, and you get his weapon gun because he like holds it this way. So spear, but sideways. Yeah, there you go. So you just gotta undo the little bits and yeah, do that real quick and get his weapon free. So let's do that. Yep. Okay, I'm just seeing it there. He's free. throwing a little tags, little bits back in the box. That way you don't have to clean up the room again. But well, back in the room up with all these because they get everywhere. Okay, that's that. So just the weapons then, the big gear. Self. Might be able to. There. First, let's see if I can get the opening. Let's get my scissors in that bit. So that's his weapon. I'll show that off in a sec. Yeah, you get his weapon right here. So bow staff. It does have a 5mm peg on each side, so you have, well, that's more screw tab, screw slot. And you do have a 5mm peg on the other side, so you can have him hold it like this. You could probably put it in his hand so it's like a giant staff that he's gonna hit you with. Let's see what's in this one. Thing. And it's the gun. There you go. So yeah, because the gun, that's it. So I'm gonna pull this back up and then put that tape back around it. And just put it back at the bottom. So that way it's not like in the way. Okay. So yeah, you get his gun slash the melee weapon. Gain your home. That's everything. There we go. Yeah, that was his box. This is now frame. Let me lower my camera slightly. Okay. You have his blaster. It is a 5mm bag. You do have a little post right here. So probably you can store it for weapon storage. And you can see some molded detail like that. There. And you can see the barrel. There, and then yeah, it's a 5mm handle. So you can hold it. There is Lil Jack or Q. I'll post all out of the box at least. Okay, let's see. Just kind of getting him straightened out. Okay, let's go over his posability. But yeah, you can see on that detail right there. There, he does clean up. He just has the back of the car. There. And that's it. But he has the shoulder pads, which are, I believe, movie accurate. Okay. That way you can have the arms in. So that way you can have his arms in or, have them out. Yeah, I just think so I muted my mic before that happened. So yeah, if you want, you could rotate the lower bicep so that way his arm is more straight inwards. So that way the elbow is more straight inwards. Instead of just rotating the whole shoulder. Okay, so his head can rotate on the ball joint. And it looks like it can't rotate a full 360. Oh, stuck right there, or maybe it can. Yeah, it looks like it. No through no full 360. You can look up that far. So a little bit of movement. That's it. Arms can go out that far. Probably, yeah. And you have a bend right there. So you get your elbow bend. You get swivel right there. So you get full 360 swivel. But if you also have the hands this way, you could get a double bend right there. So you can see there's that with the hinge and the ball joint. So you can get a double bend if you want, or you can just leave it straight and use the normal single hinge on that. Let's see, I don't think he has a waist swivel. He might, no, you just, no. No, that's a full solid piece. So I untab the backpack. Okay. No waist. Legs can't go forward that far. Probably more on this side since it's, yeah, no, same. This one feels a little loose. I'll tighten it up. Okay, that's actually nice. That's supposed to be bad. So what I was just saying is this bit right here is folded up. This top section of the back of the car. When I was bending it, it moved. So that's nice. So you can see it kind of moves when I was bending. Let's see. Or you can see it move. So yeah, that's nice. No ankle tilted feet can go up. No, it can go down. Which way? Like probably folding his heels. Yeah, you have to untab his heels so then his foot can go move slightly up. So that's how far up it could go and down and really nothing because I untabbed that heel. So, but the heel does at least have it in, so it's not like coming undone. But yeah, you get that. That's all of his articulation. He has side swivel too, if I didn't mention it. So yeah, he is limited on articulation. Patient in the legs, at least. Oh, here, if you want, you can have the shoulder pads more up, or you can have them more down, angle down there. And there we go. There's that. Here, so let's give him his weapons. Weapons to give him that look. And I'll see where they talk about weapon storage too. Let me straighten him out because I can tell he's a little off balance on the camera. There we go. He's a little bit more, but he's not falling over. So I'll do that. That way he's in full frame. Okay, let me look at the instructions and see where they show weapon storage, and then I'll give him his weapons. Then I'll move over to Ron and talk about him. Yeah, you can give him the melee weapon. It's a melee weapon. They do show his shoulder pads more out, so if you want, you could have them more out or more in, like how I have it. Back, it's having right there, and then you could give him a giant melee weapon. So yeah, it looks like there's no weapon storage. Oh wait, there is. Okay. So yeah, the instructions do have these shoulder pads at the back, more angled out than they are in. Because they instructions show more angled out. They're like tabbed in robot mode. Yeah, it looks like they're at least tabbed in robot mode. Okay, yeah, I don't know. Let me just put him back in where I had him, and then I'll bring him back in frame. I believe that was that. Yeah, so I don't know how they have it displayed out. How maybe. No, I'm seeing if I can get them like displayed out like on the instructions show it. And that bit I can't figure out. Oh, because they have it like more displayed out. Oh, granted, when I do the review, I'll figure it out by then. At least figure out by then. Because right now, I don't know how they're supposed to be displayed out. That. Yeah, I'll mess with it more off camera so I'm not wasting like more time. More time. You just re-tab at the back like it since I untabbed it. And but I can also watch reviews on him. Because I've seen them when they like at least came in. This figure came out, but now that I haven't watched those reviews on him since he did release. So since I got him at least. Okay. Here, let me just straighten out his legs again. So here, let's do weapon storage first since we're right at the back of him. Which I'll show that right now. Okay. So you want to take it with the this slot right here. You want to peg it into this side of the right door, and that one will peg in right there. So you can see it's pegged in, and there you just hit your gun and peg it on top of that port. That little port. Port. Let's see if I can get both down so that it's at least out of the way. Maybe I should tab it in first and then attach it. There, so you can see Q, aka Wheeljack. Nope, it just fell off. I have it tabbed in all the way. Okay. There, you can see he has the staff on his back. And then it's back, then the gun just stores right there. So we're gonna remove both and leave it like in this configuration because this is how they tell me to store it. Let me just see what, because they also just show you another way you can do it in robot mode. Just seeing how they want it in robot mode as they show you another configuration. You want to kind of like have it angled out a bit like that, so that way it could still fit in his wrist, still fit in his hand. Right there, and then yeah. So now he has this staff that you can stick that can poke you. And he can poke you. Okay, with it, you can use it as a walking stick. All right, let me remove that, and now I'll just put the weapons in his hand, and then I'll move over to Autobot Braun. Get the gun on the right, and then I'll do his stick on the left. Let's see something. Yeah, he holds his gun, no issues. Right there, and then the stick. I wonder if you could just. Oh, that would have been nice if you could just like peg it in straight into the hand so that we can use it as like more of a sword. But yeah, you gotta have the stick bent. Oh, right here. I could do that. That way it's like bent, like right there, and then have this gun posed a bit better. That I could do that, and then just twist that. Do that. I'll see how I'm gonna pose them later. Because I'll decide that more later instead now. Or bring this arm in and run that in. That way it's more straight. Or maybe if I have it out at that angle there, out at the angle, you get it more straight. Yeah, let's see how I'm posing him with the melee weapon, or we could just leave it to the side and put his gun on. And then, or maybe if I put it on the other side, because this could be angled out, so that way it's not blocking the arm movement. Just getting his gun back in the gun in the right hand real quick. Right there. So yeah, if you have it more on his left hand, you could get it more where it's more straight without blocking. So you could use that as a stick, like I mentioned, the walking stick, or you can use that like that. Like it's gonna poke at you. Okay, yeah. But yeah, I'll probably leave this something like that, or bend it back, and that way it's still coming out. Or, granted, I'll see how I'm gonna mess with and pose him on my shelf with the other Autobots. Do something like that. It almost seemed like he had the angle tilted when I was moving it, but no, it was just another part. But yeah, I'll give you for the first impressions when I transform him into his car mode. Let's see. I'm just looking and scanning, looking over the instructions, and I'll see. Yeah, that's the perfect transformation. Yes, I can already see how they store and all load. Wait a minute. Okay. Yeah, I saw something. So the if you want, you can have this straight. The instructions show it bent. So you can actually have these bent in robot mode, then have it straight out in all modes. So that way it doesn't block any of the articulation. Yeah, these bits down. Those bits down the rear of his car. Rear of this car mode. Yeah, you can have those. Do you want those bent and bent? So that way you can do that. You can stand a bit better. Yeah, I'll pose them up. I'll see what shelf I'm putting him on. But yeah, there you go. There's him. There's Q, aka Little Jack from Dark and Moon. I'm gonna put him to the side for a few minutes and for a minute and work on Autobot Brawn. Brawn. So I'll take a look at the box and I'll talk about this box. So yes, as you can see, it's open. It's closed box. Autobot Brawn right there. You can see the alt mode right here, robot mode right there. But this isn't how Braun looked in the show slash 86 movie. Because there was an 86 Braun release, and they also released a Dead Braun. They're also releasing Outback in this retro line. So what this retro line is, it's retro inspired, is it's their G1 look. So like Braun, he has this G1 look instead of his classic head from the 86 movie. So this is more going back to how the G1 toys looked. Just obviously just slightly different. So he has like a new head. That's really the major difference. He does come with his blaster, and if you look at the bottom, you can see the instructions. So you get that, but it also comes like on the G1, like text pack card like you would see on the G1 toys. Speaking of G1 toys, you have his G1 text pack right here in the back, and you have the G1 artwork right there. So yeah, they just brought it back, just changed it up. And here, I'll show this for a sec, but yeah, it shows this G1 artwork right there, and then the text specs and all that stuff. Function demolition, might over microchips. To Braun, Earth is essentially a hostile environment, and he loves it. Strong, rugged, agile. Sorry for those not as tough as himself. You can see his strength right here, intelligence, right there. You can see his speed right here, and you can see his firepower there, and then you can see the low number, so you can like even cut it out like on the G1. So there you go. That's that. You can see obviously the nice G1 artwork right there. So let's get him opened up, and then I'll look at the figure self. Myself. I'm just seeing out where to open this one up because this is a different box than what I'm used to. And really trying not to damage the whole box. So yeah, I'm getting open at the bottom, as you can see, and I'm just ripping it. Yeah, it's there. Yeah. Yeah, I'll remove this and I'll take that. There. So there's his instructions, probably with that white piece of paper. Yep, I knew it. White piece of paper. And now we got his instructions. Also, I don't have the 86 bronze or the dead prac version. So this is my first time messing with the Earth with the 86 brawn mold as well. Okay, so there's that. I'm gonna take him out and yeah, put him off to the side, and then I'll put the box to the side for now. So all the little bits holding in. No, I know that's part of the transformation, so that might help me get him out easier. Okay, let me just put the little bits off to the side, then I'll get him back in frame and fix him up. And then I'll get his gun out too. But yeah, at the end of this, at the end of the stream, I'll do first impressions of these two and talk about what I like, dislike, etc. Before I get into the review itself, which will be later on. I don't know when yet, so we'll see. There's his gun. Gotta put this in the box, and then I'm gonna we'll pull it back up where I ripped. Where I ripped it. To get him out. Air box done, so I'm just gonna put that to the side. I'm just gonna move Will Jack's box to the side since I don't need it anymore. And I'm also gonna put this to the side since I'm done with those. I'm gonna fix Braun up and then bring him back in frame. So there is Braun. He is another mini bot. His backpack isn't like fully tabbed in unless like I'm done. Yeah, so he is a small figure there. There, that's him full frame. Let me do a full 360 and then I'll talk about it more. Scan stable. Front. Side. Yeah, he has the backpack, the classic hood, the Jeep backpack. You can see the Autobot symbol at the very top up there. But yeah, that's that. He does come with his blaster. I don't. Might be blast effect compatible. I don't have one handy. Okay, I'm gonna just put it in his hand, and that is kind of tight, at least for on my copy. I guess the weapon storage is you just put it in the tire on the back of him. So here, let's go over bronze articulation, and then I'll look at the instructions, see where the weapon goes. So I'm gonna remove it for now. And then after I do articulation, I'll bring in the Wheeljack so you can see like how big the A6 Braun is compared to Wheeljack slash Q from Dark the Moon. Okay. head. Let's bring up the camera slightly. Here. Head. Cannot rotate on my copy. But maybe it could. Yeah, no, it's not moving whatsoever. So there, no head movement, at least on mine. It could be different on yours. It could be something stock. I'll see in the review. I'll watch a review and see. All right, arms can go out that far. So nothing else. You can spin it around full 360 right there. But if you're going forward, that will untap that a little bit. It's just like on a little nub. Sits on elbow joint. It's about double joints right there. You have the full 360 swivel. Swivel. Yeah, that shoulder out is annoying. Right. Arm can fold in. Leg. So let's see. He has a waist swivel. So yeah, if you bring that up, you can get full 360 waist swivel. No issues there. I wish the backpack tabbed in somewhere, unless I don't have it fully tabbed in. At least that could be why. Hips can go forward that far. They can go back, but if you move the backpack up, they could go forward or back. So yeah, that's the only thing. You gotta remember, if you want back movement, you gotta move the arms, the legs out of the way, but don't they move up to there. Thigh swivel, no issues there. Knee bend, it's a single joint. Again, no issues there. Ankle tiltage, full ankle tiltage, no issues there. While we're here, his foot can go forward, his foot can go down, and same for his heel spur. So if you want, you can do that for poses. Yeah, he has ankle tilted. Yeah, there you go. So that's all bronze transfer articulation. Let's see. I'm just gonna look in the instructions and see what they're doing, what they're having me do for weapon storage, which I'm guessing I'm like I said, it's probably the Tiger. Well, all mode is Tiger and robot mode is they don't even show robot mode or storage. So yeah, I'm guessing it's just the Tiger if you want. But yeah, his head doesn't move. It would be nice if his head could move. Because in the instructions, it looks like he's looking left. So I'm gonna get him posed up and then I'll get to see if I can get the head to move. Because it just might be stuck. Or on my copy or something could have went wrong and it's not able to move. Here, let me untab it and do it on camera. Okay, it's on a pin at the base, but I don't know why it won't move. Yeah, it's like stuck. Okay, I got it to move. It didn't move. So it looks like the head can't look up at all, but it can move. Okay, so yeah, this little bit, if you're moving the arm forward, then that will come in tab. So you gotta like get it back in place. So yeah, his head can rotate. It just got stuck. I had to pull it forward and spin it around. Probably because the clearance with my hand in that back part. Yeah. Here, see, it's not even moved, so it was probably just tight, like I mentioned. And yeah. So, but if it's easier, if it does help if you like bring this slightly forward and then so you can spin it. But yeah, let me get Braun in a pose real quick and then I'll put him on with Wheeljack, with Bay versus Wheeljack. He can keep tapped in. That way he has his arm bent. No. Yeah, so that shoulder, then where it comes to the shoulder, the arm attachment where it goes forward, that's gonna be tight. Okay, the left elbow joint seems tighter than the right. At least this is just my copy. It's much more tighter. So yeah, I could do that and then bring this in and bring in. That way Braun is looking to do his side as he is shooting some Decepticons. Bring that waist, that hip forward, get that. Right, and I can also on the waist, bit forward, do that. And I'll mess with it later. Stream, let me, there we go. That way he's like that. Then that way you can still see his right arm. That way he still fits in my shelf because I don't know where how I'm gonna fit him on display. Or maybe if I bring that like back and then yeah, do this one, have the more ankle tilt edge and then balance him out like that. That way he's still balanced, but he's stable, he's not falling over. That way he's still laying, he's kind of leaning forward, but yeah, he is balanced. I mean, or that way he's a little bit more standing up straight. Let me there. And real quick, here he is with Q. So yeah, he's about the same size as Q. That's Q. Oh, Ron. Let me pick Spawn some stance there. I do know there's like other retro ones. There's a Gears, there is a Bumblebee, there is a SC Spray, which is a new mold. There, yeah, there's that too, which obviously Outback that I mentioned earlier, which is just a remold of Brawn with different paint. So yeah, the left elbow is tighter. The left elbow is tighter. The right one is the looser. So I might do the left elbow for the pose. That was much more tighter. Skin is standing, bronze stand. I'm just gonna straighten them back up so you can still see them. Yeah, there. Okay, so let's get them transformed. So yeah, I'll do Q and then I'll move on to Ron and see what Ron's transformation looks like. Wait, I'll do the Ron Q and then Ron. I could do swap it up to do Ron first, and then I'll do that. I'll do Ron first, and I'll do Q. So let me grab Ron's instructions and get them opened up. And yeah, the weapons just store on the gun on the back. I'll mention it again later and show it. Well, his gun. Okay. And it does show like a little number above the step too. Okay. So let me remove his gun and I'll transform him. I'll transform him. I'll try to keep him frame, but we'll see how that goes. Also, moving the arm out, the left side's not as tight as the right. So or it at least seemed like it was. They're about the same. Yeah, once I was holding it, so I'm not sure. I'll look into it more when I'm off stream. So I'm not stream. Okay, let's see. So you want to bring this up, bring this down, and bring that up. So it's up like that. You want to pull, like kind of angle this up, and then you want to pull that down, and pull that down, and then bring that up. You're going to spin Braun around, so his waist is his butt is pointing forward, and that way you can see the wheels there. Okay, so you want to bring down his chest. You want to spin his head 180, so it's looking up. Looking up. Okay. Let's see. Next step. Bring the arms up. I don't know if they're. It looks like the shoulder. No. Yeah, you're bringing the whole thing. How do you? What? Let me double check. Let me just see how you want the arms. That. That. So from it looks like you want the arms like that. So he's pointing they're pointing up. And then you want to bring them down because it's on that hinge and then they're just up like this. So you want to bring it up and then spin this down. And then so you want them sitting down here at the end. Now you want to spin them inwards so you can see that bit right there. So spin them inwards and now bend it the joint there and that will bend out that fist in. So it's like that. And you want to get him in. What? Oh wow, he has a little butterfly joint. I didn't realize. But that's not really usable in robot mode, or it might be. Let's see. Okay, yeah, so he has a hidden butterfly. I'll do it on this side. But it's lower. So it's like this. So if you want it, you just gotta pull it out. So that way you get more bend right there. So you can see it's in. You want to pull that out. That way it's kind of like a little butterfly. At least going backwards. Okay. Let me go back and get caught up there. Because now you're gonna bring the arms in and this will fill out the side of that door right there. So you can see on this side, there's no door right here. And now you're gonna bring this up, which is tighter. Well, it feels like, yeah, there we go. And that's why you want to make sure that's hinged all the way. And now that and there is a tab on the elbow on the slot on the elbow right there that will go into the other one, other short arm. So let me get tabbed in. Sure those are pushed firmly together. Like that. Oh, there. I can have him standing, resting for now. Okay. So now, yeah, bring him in. So let me flip the instructions over and then we're working on the other side of the page. So take what will be this section and you want to spin it. Wait. Okay. Spin. So yeah, you're going to grab that and spin 180. So that way that forms the front of his car because it's truck mode. So it was this way in robot mode. It was that way in robot mode. Then you want to push this 180. So it goes around. So now this is going to be the front of Ron's truck mode. And now you want to push his head back up. And his head will stay in that gap. And this will just rest right there. I think I see why his head wasn't moving. Let me see if I can grab something to get it more freely. Because I see like maybe a mold flashing here. I just want to see if I can get it, and then I'll update it. But no, there's no, that wasn't it. Yeah, that was not it. So it probably just can't move. It just kind of looked like. What? There we go. Now I know. Yeah, the head does not move up. Okay, let me go back as I do this section. Okay, so we're like that. Now you want to split your legs. You want to flip in your legs. So if you do have a G1 Brawn or if you know how he transforms, I don't own the G1 mold. You want to untap this leg so that way you can have it like the G1 feet, like how they're extended like that. Do the same thing, grab the inside leg. So, here, let me just do this real quick. Quick. 'Cause if you know with Warpath, with Kingdom Warpath, you could kind of get into G1 look. So I'm just showing this with Braun. Now I'll still show in the review when I review him. But Braun, G1 Braun's legs, they didn't collapse up like in the show. So Braun's legs was like that. So if you want, I mean, you can't see the full thing, but this was G1's Braun's legs. So if you want, you could technically get it. You still do have the knee bend there. You don't ever know that, but it's not like that. So yeah, you can have that, the modern look, or the G1 look. The G1 look, or how this version looks. Okay, let me get back to where I had it, and then I'll go back and resume. I just wanted to mention that. There's probably a few other things you have to do to get in the G1 look on this figure. I'll look at that later. Also, I just saw, so when you're doing the arms, there is actually a tab that goes in on the shoulder. So, so there is this slot right there in that middle. That's another tab for that one to go on. So when you bend it up, you want to get this up in that one, and then that one on the forearm. So I'm gonna get that re-tabbed in. I'm gonna do the top one first. The top one seems easier to do, and then the bottom one you can just do after. At least this is just my opinion. You can do however you want. And that's nice. So there's these little tabs right there. They kind of act like as a side view mirrors too. Okay, so then bring your what? Okay. So there's the little tabs on here that will tap into the bottom of the hands. Because if your arms like are up, they're kind of how I have it kind of angled up, you want to bring it down. And there's little slots, little tab here. I'll do on this side. There is this tab right here that will kind of go into that little notch. So you want to then you bring your hands down on top of that one. Notch on the same side, so that way it's leg work, tapped in more. That way his legs are tapped in. So then I'm guessing we're probably gonna close this up, finish the backpack. Yeah. Bring the legs in, close them up, and bring that down and flip that down and attach the gun. Okay. Don't need the instruction anymore. So you want to grab this. You want to bend at this joint and bend it all the way in. So this will go in right there. And now tap everything in. So you can see that finished out the whole side of the car. Of the Jeep. Okay, make sure those fingers go in there home. And you do want to make sure your knee is straight. Make sure you collapse your foot because this side didn't. Okay. So bend it and then this will go into that gap right there. But you want to make sure your knees are straight and then you want to just tap everything in. And so if you have the other versions of Braun, like the dead version, the dead two-pack version with that came with Ratchet, or the normal 86 Braun mold, you'll know what you're messing with. Because this is just, my first time messing with the mold. With this mold. So there's that. And so let me lower my camera slightly. Okay, last bit, you want to close this down. That way it covers up the like, arms. So just get those in as one of this. I'll saute go in. And this section will close up on top. So flip that. Minus that. Then bring this in, and that will sit right there on these little bits. And so let me just make sure everything's closed up. And now it is supposed to be, because I don't know if I have those arms stabbed in. Okay. Mm. And there's your 86 Braun slash, sorry, your retro Braun. That's what I was going to call it. But yeah, your G1, it's inspired Braun. And there, the gun can store at the top. So, okay, it can rotate around since it's on the tire can rotate around. So could the tire could pop off if you want it. So you can give it, the topless one, or you could put the tire on it and give it, that look. But yeah, there's your Braun. Here, I'll always give his final thoughts. It's a great transformation. Like I mentioned, you could get the G1 look, the G1 toy look. Simple transformation once you know what you're doing. Nothing is hard. It all hides away. You don't see the arms. You can see the knees right there, but yeah, you don't see the foot because that hides right there. You can't really see the head. I mean, you see the back of the head. If you wanted to, you could to leave it with the head down, with the head forward. They just say you rotate it. But if you wanted to, you could give it that look, which I think that's how the G1 run looks. But I'm gonna at least follow the instructions from now and put the head back up. And we'll hide the head so he's not looking down. So that was more, robots in disguise. But yeah, he comes with his master. Here. Yeah, it's a good figure. Solid. No issues with him. No issues with him. Like just a loose joint, but it could be loose, but that's what I'll figure out before I do the review. But rolls perfectly, no issues there. And yes, the tires are clipped on too. But other than that, no issues there. It's solid figure. Oh, here. I just realized one section I didn't tab in that section when I put it. I tabbed it. All the windows do have the black there. I'm just seeing if this is in all the way. 'Cause this side's kind of sticking out, but it looks like it was, but I fixed it. But yeah, all the windows do have the black around it, so that's nice. So there's not like one missing the black stripe. So that's a very nice thing. All right, on to the side. So now let me grab Q and his instructions and transform Q to his Mercedes-Benz car. Since I'm not a car expert, so I know it's a Mercedes-Benz vehicle. Okay, let's see. Q, how are we transforming Q? My table. Let me bring up my camera slightly. I'll probably just throw the instructions aside so I have more room. Since these are bigger okay, bigger than the G1 Retro inspired one. Okay, yeah, remove his weapons, and I'm just gonna put him off to the side. I'm gonna straighten out his fist. Too, because yeah, if you want, you can give him the weapon sideways like that, but there, I'm gonna leave that straight out. Wait, here, I can at least show you what I was talking about with those weapons, how they're, oh, I just realized, yeah, slightly more articulation that I just realized. Yeah, his hips can go out right there, because these sections can go up. I didn't realize until I just noticed it. So yeah, if you want, yeah, he has sideways movement. so you can kick out the side. Brown kid too, but I just didn't realize the skirts can move. The hip skirts can move. That's all. So yeah, he has that. Okay, let me readjust my camera slightly. Okay, there, that way he's kind of fully in frame. Okay, step one, bring up the shoulders and then bring out the door wings. Oh, here, let me see. Let me see if I can manage to figure out how they want to show the door rings in the picture because they're not like this. They're more angled out, which I don't even know if you could get them that way. Oh, does it go? Can't even get him that way. The only way is to pop them off the joint. Let me just show you what I'm talking about. Then I'll go into transformation to Q. You can't get them that way. So how? Honestly, I'll watch your video and see if they show it. And yes, Q does have a light stamp port right there. Run just to believe. I didn't really look since I don't really use the light stamps on non flyers. But that's just me. But yeah, it's right there. But where my thumb is, it's on the windshield, on the back windshield. Okay, here. If you look right here, you can see the wings, they're kind of up. You can't do, I don't even know how you can do that. I'll figure out on off camera. All right. So bring up the shoulder pads up. So they're up like that. They're sitting up like that. So he has that look. And now you want to untab them and then straighten out that piece and untab that. So you're going to the back to move. You want to get these out of the way and then get those straightened out. I believe you're straighten out now. And we're going to straighten them out in a minute. You're going to straighten those bits out in a sec. So I'm going to just do it now. So yeah, straighten those out. You want to flip this bit around. This is kind of that rear the hood. This will flip around. There's tabs right here on the side right there, and that's what locks like the doors in. Because this wall is like this, and that wall down. Okay, flip that in. Because yeah, that flipped around. You want to flip this up. Let me just redo it with these strap back in order. Okay, so yeah, you want to bring up the windshield. You want to kind of bring up those bits. So that way now his windshield is pointing up. It's pointing is sitting normal. The front window, but yeah, you want to bring this whole section up. So just untap it from the back. You want to just pull it out and then extend it. And now you want to extend this section so that way his wheels up. Maybe let's do that there. So there's that. Let me see because now I gotta flip the instructions over on my side. Flip in the heels, and then you're going to do some feet transformation. So flip up. So flip down. This can and push them in. It could be kind of hard to untab. This for me. Bring it up slightly, or do you want the feet to go? Let me look at it again. Yeah, they're kind of hard to untab, at least for me. So you want to rotate that out and then in or out. How am I moving your feet? Okay. Okay. And then you pull them in, and then I got it. And you strain that around, and then you close this up to sit like that. Okay, I got the foot figured out. It just took me a sec. And then yeah, you close that up. Okay, so you want to so this side's done. So you want to bring it in like about halfway, and now you want to bend up the foot all the way in. And now you want to keep just spinning this around 180. You want to leave that open for now. And you want to make sure it's all the way aligned with this side. And once you know it, then you can just once it's aligned, then you push this down. That will snap in, and that's good because will form the back of his car. Load that. Okay. Now you can tab them in. There's multiple tabs on each side. Let's see if I can see those. Yeah, there's multiple slots. So you just want to keep the legs aligned up and tab them in, and right, out, in. Let me put it all in. Let me keep his legs straight. Close up those bits. Go on straight or slightly back. But yeah, now they're tabbed in. Probably slightly bent. Or maybe up because you don't you have to, at the side of the car, lower it. Just for a sec. You want to get the arms positioned in the middle and then tap them in. Then you want to get those in, and then you want to bring everything else in and get that in. Wait, okay. Let's see. So yeah, you want to position these arms so they go in like that. Do you bend them or anything? On because these. Let me see. I'm looking at the arms and transformation steps because yeah, you fold them in on each other like that. That way. Rotate that in. Okay. And then that will tap in. Let me see. Okay. So see how this arm is straight. You want to rotate it out. You're going to use that bend and make sure this sits like that. So that way this is on top. You want to kind of like angle it right there. You want to have these like both point in the same direction. So like this, and then you're going to bend it at the joints. Hold it in and then adjust it so it sits like that. And now you want to bring this, you're just going to rotate that in. The great bit in, and this will get in the middle. So then, right, so when I do the review, I'm gonna get a little bit more better. Hopefully less off the screen, and then tab these in, and then these will tab in at the back. Okay, let me just get these tabbed in, and I'll bring it into the back of Q. Yeah, you just gotta orient those shoulders, the bits. Because that whole section will form the top of his car. car mode, but there's also a little thing. So you want to say, let me see. Okay. There is like this little shape right here. You want to get these, the arms, those elbow, the gray bits will sit right there and in that section. In that section right there. So that we got this. So that way the whole back of the car's done. So then you're just gonna, tap in get the front all lined up. Get that front all lined up. So do you also spin his head around? Let me see if you see that in the instructions. From it looks like it's pointing down, so then do that. Then you do your whole door wings, and then you tap them all in. And the weapons they do similar to robot mode. So you bring this down and this. I'll see at the front slot. You do off camera and get these in. And get this tabbed in. Because this is going in a specific way or just dropping it down and resting on the back. Okay, yeah, it's tabbed in. I just had to do it off camera. Sometimes that's easier, at least for me. So it's tabbed in. Now I'm just going to bring, yeah, because now we're going to bring these down, these in, and then get these in and get those in. So just strain this out and this in, so that way this forms the whole side of the car. Load, and then this will tab in. Okay, yeah, that shifts. So it depends on the bumper because it's on the hinge. That's why there's a hinge on it. So this makes it look easier. Easier to under. Okay, then yeah. I'll definitely get it better when I do the review on him. Or I can just, yeah, you want to get that in, you want to just tap in the whole like side of the car and then into their section. And those door wings in. I'll do off camera because this is gonna be fun. How far do you want that in? Go in your home. Go in your home. Go, go in your home. You want to be in your home. Be in your home. Last thing, you're just gonna bring this in. This will tab in. Tab in. Instructions are straight bring these in earlier. I just didn't do that. Get this one done. Let's see if I can get it in. So you want to kind of bring that in and but not all the way in. Let me get this one done. Get it back up it. Back up. Maybe I could tap it in now and then just do the wing bit. So it's not tapping in. The front of the car is not tapping in. So great. Okay, I got one side tapped in. I just have to push on it. There we go. I got in. So now you just, close in that door wing section, get everything all lined up, which I don't know if it is all lined up. Because it could, come undone. Which, yeah, everything is lined up. Let me just get close. There we go. Excuse me. Okay, there you go. There is your Q slash Will Jack from Dark of the Moon and Not Load. Rolls. The wheels have the little star shape right there. You can kind of see in the light. Yeah, you can see just this head and chest. The arms do hide away and the legs do hide away. You can just see this section and the feet, hide are hidden. And then you can see side view mirrors right there on the side. Yeah. All the windows are done in black while the rest is done blue. You can see the headlights, which are really solid road. You can see the bumper. You can even see that McLaren symbol. Their car symbol right there. Mercedes symbol right there. Yes, it's yeah, Mercedes Benz symbol. I just said, yeah, Mercedes Benz symbol right there. But yeah, there you go. Weapons, they store the same way as robot mode. The instructions are just peg this in that door, in that slot. Let me get it in all the way there. So it's like that, and then you're just, they just show the gun kind of going up at an angle. Wait, I'm just double checking, making sure I get it right. The instructions, because I probably won't. There. That's the way they tell you to store his weapon. And then robot mode, I did see I had it wrong. So when you're having it in his hand and on his backpack in robot mode, they do show you a different way than what I did. So I'm gonna just show you how well it looks supposed to look in robot mode hand. Yeah, this is kind of how it's supposed to be in robot mode. It's the same way in alt mode when he's holding it. And no, same way. So yeah, this is you just want the same configuration for alt mode, so that way he has the clearance to hold it with the handle. So it would be like that as the robot mode weapon. Storage and alt mode storage. Well, all for storage. So yeah, he just won the same way. Yeah, there you go. Let me grab Ron. But yeah, Q as well as kind of get hindered. It could be because of the weapon or just general. Well, he's good at sliding. Yeah, so it looked like it might just be the weapon that's blocking the wheel. But there you go. You can see they both can have a weapon storage in both modes. Modes, different positions too of the store. But yeah, there you go. That's how they look. Look, I'm just getting everything in. But yeah, there you go. They're both deluxes. They were same price. So. But yeah, they're good. You can even see like the windshield, right? The wipers right there on Q. Granted, they're not painted. Even Braun has his. They're in done in green, so you can kind of make it out a bit better right there. But yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah, they're both good figures. Q's, you just gotta figure out like his transformation for some areas. but it's easy once you know what you're doing. As sliding windows, which are not, had no detail on the inside of them. But yeah, even his taillights do have, even the back of him, he does have like the gold, right, the red right there, and then he has that white line right there. Even the little Mercedes Benz right there, right there. Yeah, even that little Mercedes Benz symbol right there, and even the little like four dots right there, four dots right here. I'm not sure what they mean. And make out even like the little bits of the exhaust pipes right there. They're not painted in. You could and there. There's the little dots right there. Not sure what that means. There's the stripe right there. Obviously, we saw the front, but yeah, that's nice paint from what it looks like. Could be paint. So, but yeah, there you go. There is your Dark of the Moon Q, aka Railjack from Transformers Dark of the Moon from the Studio Series line, and brought from the retro inspired line from Walmart, which I believe this one's a Walmart exclusive line as well. So there you go. But yeah, anyways, I'm in the Ultimate Wolf. You can find the Ultimate Wolf on just going to the Ultimate Wolf on Instagram, the Ultimate Wolf on Twitch. And yes, obviously you could see Q's head right there. The Ultimate Wolf on Instagram, if I haven't said that. You can also find the Ultimate Wolf on X at Ultimate Wolf 19 and Ultimate Wolf on Reddit. Use slash the Ultimate Wolf YT, all caps. But yeah, like I said, I've been the one, the only Ultimate Wolf.